Welcome to the Straightforward Connection with Tommy. This video is on your WWE SmackDown WWE main event results and superstars. They still, 3 weeks in a row, they have not posted Saturday Morning Slam results or spoilers. But here we go. As normal, some brief news. Word going around that Adam Cole and Davey Richards have entered into some type of agreement with WWE and have began the health screening processes in hopes of signing on to be talent for their talent contracts. Both talents could be in developmental by the middle of summer. According to a new WWE.com article, Paul Heyman is scouting a third client to add to his current stable of 2, Brock Lesnar and CM Punk. The article featured comments from several WWE superstars, where the superstars comment on whether or not they'd like to be represented by Paul Heyman. One of them was Kofi Kingston. Another one was The Miz, and a couple of others. And here's one that said Corey Graves, who is an upcoming superstar, said, "Would I like to be represented by Paul Heyman? Of course. It doesn't mean you're going to be liked. You're not going to make any friends. But you can't deny that if you're a Paul Heyman guy, the world's going to talk about you no matter what." And here's what Kofi Kingston said. "I think anyone who is not interested in having Paul Heyman as a representative would be foolish. Look at his track record and what he's done for the guys like Brock Lesnar. You see how much of an asset he's been for CM Punk. Heyman is a genius." And here's what The Miz said. "What's in it for me? I'll answer a question with a question. Because while Paul Heyman definitely has something to offer, I just don't know what he has to offer me." Check out the complete article online at WWE.com. And my own decision, who else is a Paul Heyman guy who is not under any contract right now and is almost beyond his 90 days? He's got 3 initials. Can you think who it is? Anybody around? How about for a clue? Okay, well, advertised dark match for SmackDown taping was Sheamus and Randy Orton versus Big Show and Mark Henry in a tag match. WWE wrestler Zack Ryder turned 28 years old. He was born May 14th, 1985. He has worked for WWE since signing a developmental contract in February 2006. Leon White, who is better known as Vader, turned 58 years old. He was born May 14th, 1955. He made appearances on WWE television last year as one of many veterans to beat up Heath Slater. Robert Fuller, a.k.a. Robert Welch, turned 62 years old. He was born May 14th, 1951. In addition to his successful in-ring career, his also name, WCW name was Colonel Robert Parker. The one with a southern dialect. Always went up against Harlem Heat and Scary Sherry. Well, he also had a brief stint in WWE as Tennessee Lee, the manager of Jeff Jarrett, Double J. J-E, double F, J-A, double R-E, double T. For those that don't remember. Well, Tommy Rogers, a.k.a. Thomas Couch, turned 52 years old. I believe he was a former tag team member of the Fantastics. He was born May 14, 1961. Rogers teamed with Bobby Fulton as the Fantastics. The duo had some very memorable matches with the Midnight Express and also of the skateboarding tag team of John Laurinaitis and can you think of his tag team partner, Shane Douglas. the Dynamic Dudes. And it was a football, let's see. And they also had some memorable matches with the Midnight Express. Late pro wrestler Dr. Death Steve Williams was born on this date, 1960. Williams died on December 29, 2009 at the age of 49 following a battle with throat cancer. Williams was an All-American football player at the University of Oklahoma and also competed on the wrestling team as well. Late pro wrestler Scott Irwin was born on this date, 1952. He died at the age of 35. And, well, today's date is the 15th, but that was actually the 14th. When I done the news, it was so late whenever I got the news. So it was actually the 15th. I had to go to work. That's why I'm doing my video tonight after WWE main event. Well, here's what went on with with that. Okay, well, he died at the age of 35 due to a brain tumor. He and his brother, Bill Irwin, were best known working as the Long Riders, as a masked Super Destroyer tag team. His brother Bill also wrestled as the Goon in WWE. The following matches were listed for the 11 p.m. Central airing time of AWA on ESPN Classic. Buddy Rhodes versus Hernandez. Colonel De Beers versus B. Anderson. The Midnight Rockers versus Knight and DeHoff. Brad Rangers and Mass Marauder versus Boris Zukov and the Barbarian versus Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig for the AWA Tag Team titles. And WWE taped the following matches last night in Wichita, Kansas to air for Wednesday's episode of Main Event. Kane versus Seth Rollins. Wade Barrett versus Sin Cara in a non-title match. And Cody Rhodes versus Justin Gabriel. This is normally there's only like 2 matches on that, so I guess they squeezed in 3. As I was briefly on that while I was visiting with my daughter, unexpectedly, because the ex-wife had choir practice. Well, I got to spend some extra time with her. All right. Okay. Dark matches before before last night's TV tapings in Wichita. So NXT's Adrian Neville and Bo Dallas defeat Primo and Epico, very similar to their debut in Shreveport at the Hearst Coliseum last Friday. Both Vince McMahon and Triple H are very high on Big E Langston lately, and there's a feeling among others that big things will be coming his way in the near future, as you're seeing the storyline come up with Alberto Rodriguez and Jack Swagger. And it was recently stated in a creative meeting that they want to push Langston, but want to take their time with the push and have him learn while working with Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee. Langston has another high-profile supporter in none other than John Cena. He was impressed by Langston while visiting NXT last year and has spent some time working backstage with him since coming to Raw. One source noted it really looks like he is Cena's new pet project. No heat for the boys either. TNA President Dixie Carter issued the following statement on her Twitter page yesterday afternoon in a matter that happened on Impact on TV with a possible sexual harassment on camera. TNA has zero tolerance for inappropriate behavior. The incident with Austin Aries was taken very seriously and handled immediately. So, if there's zero tolerance policy, then does this mean Austin Aries was fired or severely punished on the spot? I'm not even saying that he would be terminated or what the punishment should be over this incident involving Christy Hemme. But wouldn't those be examples of companies showing zero tolerance? Just saying. And if the issue was handled immediately, then was the punishment so severe that Aries somehow felt comfortable making testicle jokes on his Twitter page? 3 days later, again, I'm not trying to stir things up, or say if the punishment has to be severe. But either there was a top secret firing or punishment that no one else is aware of, or Carter's brief statement has more holes than actual words. Jeff Lutz was at the SmackDown taping in Wichita, Kansas, and sent the following updates on the WWE main event taping. Dark match. Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville defeated Primo and Mexico in 4 minutes. Neville took the hot tag and won with a top rope corkscrew. Wonder if that was the whisper in the wind from Jeff Hardy. Copy. Good athleticism from Neville. And now for your main event taping. Match number 1. Kane defeated Seth Rollins by disqualification in 14 minutes. After a brief flurry of offense from Rollins, Kane controlled the match after hitting a big boot. He then threw Rollins over the top rope onto Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns and scored several near falls. Rollins escaped a tombstone and a choke slam and gained momentum with a spinning kick to Kane's head. The crowd got behind Kane, but he couldn't maintain a comeback as Rollins tried for a submission. Kane rallied with a side slam to get a near fall. With Ambrose and Reigns surrounding him, Kane hesitated to deliver a top rope move, and Rollins hit a running drop kick. Kane regained control, and after catching Rollins off the top rope, Rollins once again escaped the choke slam, then did it again. Kane finally got him on the 4th attempt, but the pinfall was broken up by Ambrose for disqualification. The Shield did attack Kane after the match and were setting him up for a triple powerbomb before running in by the Usos. Kane and the Usos cleared the ring and celebrated while trash-talking the departed Shield. Rollins and Reigns versus Usos was set up for SmackDown as a result of main event earlier tapings. And Sin Cara defeated Wade Barrett in 4 minutes. And that match I actually did see. That was a surprise win by Sin Cara to me. And Barrett controlled the match early with power moves before Sin Cara hit a couple of high spots. Wade Barrett was going for the power bomb, but Sin Cara rolled through and covered Barrett for the pinfall. Kind of like a schoolboy roll up to me. Match number 3, which was your main event. Cody Rhodes defeated Justin Gabriel in 4 minutes. What's up with these 4-minute matches, folks? I mean, it was an hour program. Well, you got 4 minute, at least two 4-minute matches and a 14-minute match. And that covers your hour programming. Okay, well, this is how the action went. Rhodes rolled out of the way of a presumed 450 splash attempt by Gabriel. And then Rhodes hit the Alabama Slam for the near fall. And then pinned Gabriel with a crossroads. Rhodes and Miz, the opponents for the Extreme Rules pre-show on Sunday, had a stare down to close the main event. And here's the second report of the brief results for from one of the dirt sheets. I think it was Lords of Pain that gave this dirt sheet results. Kane defeated Seth Rollins by disqualification. Shield went to triple powerbomb Kane, but Usos came out with a save. Sakara defeated Wade Barrett in a non-title match. Cody Rhodes defeated Justin Gabriel. No other results on that. Yep. And that's courtesy of LordsOfPain.net. SmackDown will get 2 reports as well. Miz TV was set up as Lillian Garcia, Josh Matthews, and JBL made their entrances. The Miz appeared in the ring while we watched a recap of recent events. Randy Orton, Big Show, with Miz will be with Miz tonight instead of the advertised Jericho highlight reel, and I assume Jericho will be saved for the interaction with Fandango later on. Miz talked up Orton and chose upcoming Extreme Rules match and recapped by footage of major moments in the feud. Miz asked if Orton's RKO would be a preview of Extreme Rules, and Show called Orton a snake in the grass who specializes in sneak attacks. He said at Extreme Rules he could do anything he wants to rip Orton apart. Show then said he doesn't need a weapon because he has a fist. Instead of an RKO, he gets a TKO in Orton's hometown of St. Louis. Orton said Show's ending won't happen and that he wouldn't let Show beat him in Orton's hometown. He said the rivalry has its roots in his mistaken trust of show. He said the only thing people would remember Sunday is how the Viper took down the Big Show. Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter interrupted. And Zeb Coulter said Sunday would be so memorable, but because Swagger would be making Alberto Del Rio say I quit, or in Del Rio's native tongue, no mas. Coulter led a chorus of boos and said you would hear thousands of real Americans rise in unison and say, "We the people." And then Alberto Del Rio came out next, and he told Coulter to shut up, and that the only thing people would remember was Del Rio becoming #1 contender. Del Rio said he would send Jumanji Man, Zeb Coulter, back to where he came from. Mark Henry emerged and offered his version of what would be remembered on Sunday. He mentioned setting a world record for pulling semis. He played to the what chants and said he'd be pulling, dragging, and beating Sheamus. He said people would remember he's the strongest man in the world because that's what I do. Next up was Sheamus, who said he would leave Henry battered and bruised with welts and marks, and he asked why wait until Sunday. Sheamus chased the heels away with a strap, but accidentally hit Orton. Legitimately an accident, not a work. Went to commercial with Orton, Sheamus, and Del Rio, and Ricardo Rodriguez in the ring. Match number 1. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns defeated the Usos. The Shield won after a Reigns spear. They were setting up the one of the Usos with a triple power bomb, but Kofi Kingston came to make the save. He hit the Shield with a chair, and then the Shield ran off. Kofi and the Usos gave a promo, I think for the WWE app, about overcoming the Shield. Back from the break, Teddy Long entered. He said after the last segment, he was ready for Extreme Rules. He set up tonight's 6-man main event. Mark Henry, Big Show, Swagger versus Orton, Sheamus, and Del Rio. Rollers Clay and Sweet Tea with Cameron and Naomi defeated primetime players. Titus O'Neil cut an entertaining promo. He mispronounced Wichita and said real primetime players went to Kansas University. The PTPers were in control early on, and Titus did his patented seal chant. Hoo-yah, hoo-yah, hoo-yah! Darren Young missed a running attempt in the corner, and Tensai tagged in Brodus. Titus broke up the pin attempt. Then Darren Young got sandwiched by the big boys, and Brodus hit a splash for the win. So you get the Tons of Funk winning a match. Match number 3, Chris Jericho defeated Eternal Cesaro, 12-minute match. Fans chanted boring as the Cesaro started in control at the slow pace. Jericho got them further on his side with a drop kick that forced Cesaro to regroup at ringside. Cesaro hit an uppercut and some chops, but got another drop kick from Jericho from the middle rope. Jericho reversed a suplex and hit a signature drop kick from the middle rope to the excitement of the fans. And then Jericho missed a corner splash and vaulted out of the ring. Fans cheered him on as he recovered, but Cesaro went back on the attack, throwing Jericho into the barricade. Back in the ring. He got a 2 count on the dazed Jericho. Jericho went for the walls of Jericho, but Cesaro struggled away. Cesaro lifted his knees on Jericho's moonsault attempt to regain momentum. And then we get back and forth action, continuing as Jericho got a near fall. Jericho managed to barely kick out of a backbreaker. Jericho fought back from a sleeper and rolled up Cesaro for a 2 count. Cesaro then earned his own 2 count immediately after he put a headlock on. Weakened Jericho struggled to fight back and was taken down again. Jericho tried to break the headlock by backing Cesaro into the ropes, but was unsuccessful. He finally broke free and scored an axe handle from the top rope. Fandango's gold stage setup fell in front of the Titantron, but Jericho was oblivious. He attempted a top rope move, but was hit by the uppercut from another near fall. Then Jericho put the walls of Jericho, and Cesaro tapped out. Summer Rae entered the ring with Fandango seemingly closely behind. Jericho watched the stage but was attacked from behind. He quickly got the best of Fandango, who ran off, and then Jericho hit Cesaro with the codebreaker. Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger were on the Tron for a pre-recorded promo. Coulter ranted against the government from a conservative standpoint, touching on shady IRS activities and the Benghazi situation. Coulter blasted Del Rio and said he wasn't one of us. Coulter questions whether Ziggler was really injured or just afraid. He said he and Swagger were vilified for speaking the truth. He said real Americans never quit, but Del Rio would. He said Del Rio would quit, take a sombrero, and run back home. Swagger finished it off with, "We the people!" Sandow gave a promo from the stage about Miz and how his winning would come to a screeching halt, and that Rhodes would embarrass him on Sunday. Match number 4, Miz defeated Damon Sandow. Miz made his entrance to a healthy applause. Cody Rhodes was on commentary. Sandow covered an attempted punch and rolled out of the ring. The Miz followed and nailed him. Back in the ring, Sandow got the upper hand. Rhodes took the live mic and said fans should stand up and show respect for Sandow. Miz came back and grabbed the win. Nothing more than that. Divas champion Caitlyn defeated Oksana in the Divas action. Oksana entered to catcalls from the crowd. Where were those for Cameron? Caitlyn received a strong babyface reaction from the fans who aren't shallow enough to root for the hotter Divas just because she's hotter. Well done, Wichita. Oksana got a couple of moves, including a slingshot against the ropes. She taunted Caitlyn and earned boos. Oksana was dominating for a while. A ridiculous "we want puppies" chant broke out. Oksana still dominating. Waiting for this to turn around. Still waiting. Boss move. Still waiting. Redid the botch. Caitlyn hits the spear for the win. Longer than a normal Divas match, about 5 or 6 minutes. Match number 6, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Alberto Del Rio defeated Mark Henry, Big Show, and Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter in the 6-man tag. Lillian introduced Ricardo Rodriguez in Spanish, and Ricardo introduced Del Rio in English. Ricardo was with the bucket. Sheamus followed. But then Orton, before the heel team came out individually, Swagger and Del Rio started the match. Del Rio started hot. Got Swagger to the corner and tagged in Orton. Swagger clipped Orton's knee, but Orton managed to tag Del Rio back in. Del Rio hit the shoulder dive on Swagger outside the ring. Swagger tagged in Show, who started to beat up Del Rio. Show hit Del Rio with a big chop and tagged in Swagger. Then Henry came in for the first time and continued to attack on Del Rio. Quick tags for the heel team until Del Rio anticipated Swagger. And Big Show hits Del Rio with a big chop and tagged in Swagger. Henry came in for the first time and continued to attack on Del Rio. Quick tag for the heel team until Del Rio incapacitated Swagger. Swagger was first to make the tag, and Show comes in and does a splash on Del Rio. Del Rio once again prevented from making the tag and was dragged back to the corner. More quick tags. Show gets another shot behind the referee's back. Del Rio took a beating from all 3 heels. Swagger locked in a submission move, but Del Rio fought it off and moved out of the way of a charging Swagger in the corner. Del Rio still didn't make a tag. Finally, a reverse on Big Show, and Del Rio tagged in Sheamus. Sheamus got Show up for the Irish Curse and delivered it. He set up for the brogue kick, but was distracted by Henry, and Big Show took over again. Sheamus was isolated in the corner as the heels went to work. Sheamus hit Swagger with a rolling slam, but Henry got to Sheamus before Sheamus Okay, Del Rio. Okay, Sheamus hit the. Okay. Swagger continued the beating on Sheamus. The crowd was strongly behind the babyface. Sheamus, and he hit an electric chair and made another hot tag to Orton. Randy performed several clotheslines to Swagger, but Henry took him down. Del Rio hit a dropkick on Henry, and Swagger locked in the Patriot lock. But Orton hit the RKO on Swagger for the win. The babyface celebrated. In the melee, Sheamus also hit Big Show with the road kick to close out the show and the taping. Second report from SmackDown. Thanks to Roger and Riley for the following SmackDown spoilers. From tonight's tapings in Wichita, Kansas, SmackDown opened up with a Miz and another Miz TV segment. His guests are Randy Orton and Big Show, who were previously advertised for the highlight reel. And we see highlights from the Orton versus Show feud. Swagger, Alberto, Del Rio, Mark Henry, and Sheamus all end up in the ring and a brawl breaks out. Orton, Del Rio, and Sheamus clean house, and before Teddy Long comes out and makes a six-man tag for later on. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns beat the Usos in a quick match. Dean Ambrose joined in the commentary for the post-match beatdown, and until Kofi makes the save with a steel chair. Kofi and the Usos had words. Okay. Alright. Well, I had lost my spot. Okay, again, this is, I guess, our Randy Orton Big Show with previously advertised highlight reel. We see highlights of Orton versus the Show feud. Swagger, Del Rio, Mark Henry, and Sheamus all end up in the ring, and brawl breaks out. Orton, Del Rio, and Sheamus clean house before Teddy Long came out and made a six-man match for them later on in the show. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns defeated the Usos in a quick match. Dean Ambrose joined in post-match beatdown until Kofi Kingston made a save with a steel chair. Kofi and the Usos had words for the Shield. Damien Sandow walks up on the Miz and Teddy Long backstage. Sandow wants to get Damien Sandow on SmackDown after what happened with Miz. They have words that Teddy makes Sandow versus Miz for tonight, which was on SmackDown. What are spoilers? 10-time Brodus Clay defeated Darren Young and Titus O'Neil. Well, that report didn't say how. Well, Chris Jericho defeated Antonio Cesaro. After the match, Summer Rae came out. Fandango attacked Jericho from behind. Jericho turned it around, and Fandango escaped the ring. Jericho hit Cesaro with a code breaker to end everything. Then they show a video from earlier in the day with Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger. Coulter rants about the current IRS and Bezagi controversy before running down Alberto Del Rio and Dolph Ziggler. Zeb says Ziggler isn't injured, he's just afraid of Swagger. Zeb says Swagger will make Del Rio quit at Extreme Rules and send him back home to Mexico. And The Miz defeated Damien Sandow by submission. Cody Rhodes was at ringside and cut a promo before the match. Diva champion Caitlyn defeated Oksana in a non-title match. Randy Orton, Alberto Del Rio, and Sheamus defeated Big Show, Swagger, and Mark Henry in the main event. Zeb Coulter and Ricardo got involved at one point, and the end came when Orton hit an RKO on Swagger. Orton, Sheamus, and Del Rio celebrated after the match. Big Show got up, but Sheamus hits a brogue kick and to send the crowd home happy. And that ends my results. And I didn't see any dark match main event results for the this taping for SmackDown this week. And thanks again for viewing, and peace out.